Welcome back, everyone. Dr. Ben, not a real doctor here. I'm going to bring you another movement session. Today we're going to be doing a mobility session from hand-knee. And we're going to start with some wrist warm-ups just because it's going to be a lot of pressure on our wrists. So start with your left hand and palm down, and we're going to go wrist circles, 10 reps one direction and 10 reps the other direction. Now take your time and really feel the muscles working. Don't just bang through these reps as though going through the motion. It's important to feel the muscles, activate the muscles, and control the motion. All right, go back around the other way. And when we're finished with these, we're going to go palm up and do the same thing. 10 reps one direction and then 10 reps the other direction. So we're going palm up and we're going to go 10 reps. If you would like to add a little bit more movement, you can open and close your hand and get a little bit more work in the wrist. You can also do all of these with your hand open. So after you get 10 reps one direction, we're going to go back the other direction. And like I said, this is just to get things moving in the wrist because we are going to be putting a fair bit of weight through most of this on our wrists. Nice work. Switch over to your right hand, and we're going to start with palm down just like we did on the left side. So 10 reps in one direction and then 10 reps in the opposite direction. Very nice. Go the other way. And then when we're done with this, same as before, we're going to go palm up. Sorry, my dog's flipping out on somebody. Pardon the interruption. Palm up, 10 reps one direction, and then 10 reps the other direction. I found that if you don't get a good wrist warm up before doing this much time with weight on your hands, you can end up with quite a bit of wrist soreness, especially if you're doing this regularly. So it's always good to warm up your wrists before you do any sort of load on your hands. And now we're going the other direction if you haven't already switched. And then we're going to lay down, face down on the ground, and we're going to warm up our hips a little bit. So what you're going to do is you're just going to bring your right leg up and out to the side, up as high as you can. Try and do this in a nice controlled way. We're only doing 3 reps and then we're going to switch sides. So over to the left side, and try not to drag your leg up there. And we're going to do this 3 times through. So back to the right. Try and pick your leg up and control it all the way up. Don't throw it. Just work with the range of motion you have. Other side. And just over time, you'll build up more mobility. This is going to work on the hips and even really the lower back and the sides a little bit. Last time through to the right side. And the last one on the left side. Nice. Oh, and the dog's getting in on the action. Adapt and overcome. He doesn't want to get out of here. He'll lay down here in a second and let me get back to what I was doing. We'll just push on. Good. So now you're going to come up to a kneeling position, and I want you to we're going to rock back and forth back to a kneeling position and up to our hands. And this is just getting the hips moving a little bit, getting the shoulders moving a little bit. And now we're just going to keep rocking forward, back and forth, trying to get a little extension out over your hands if it's comfortable with your wrists. Rock back as far as is comfortable and as far forward as is comfortable. We're going to go for about 10 reps of this. And then we're going to move into scapular push-ups. So you're going to keep your arms straight on this and just let your chest drop and push back up. You're going to try not to let your elbows bend on this. You want to be using just the muscles around the shoulder. And also try and keep your midsection tight. Don't let your belly start sagging. You want to keep a good posture. We're going for 10 reps on this too. Another thing to look out for while you're doing these is what is your head doing? Like, don't start letting your head bob around. Try and keep everything in a nice fixed position and have your shoulders being the only thing moving. And we're going to go back and start shifting our weight back to our hips and forward, rocking back and forth, getting our hips and shoulders moving. If you want to get a little bit more work in the shoulders, you can keep light tension on your hands, like push down into the ground while you're rocking backwards and forth. That'll put a little bit more tension on the shoulders and less tension on the hips. 5 reps, and we're going to move on to scapular push-ups. 10 reps on this. Nice work. All right, we're going to work on a little bit of rocking left and right. So you're going to rock out over your left hand as far as you can, and then come across and rock over your right hand as far as you can. So we're going to do 10 reps here, and just work with what you've got. No need to push it or work hard. This is all kind of low intensity mobility work. So we want to work the muscles, but you shouldn't feel beat up or exhausted at the end of this. And next we're going to move into some circles. You're going to go 10 reps clockwise and 10 reps counterclockwise. Again, let the comfort of your wrists dictate how much movement you use. You don't want to start getting into a point where you're agitating your wrists doing this, or you won't be able, you're going to have to take days off. When you're working on mobility, you want to do it regularly, once every day, twice a day, whatever your schedule allows, because this is low intensity stuff that you can work on regularly. And the other direction. So this is just, getting the shoulders and the wrists warmed up a little bit more. We're not going for an intense workout. All of this stuff is building on the previous movements to help loosen everything up and allow you to do a little bit more with the movements as we move along. And then we're going to work on a little bit of hip extensions. Now, as you're doing this, try to have the only thing moving be your leg. Don't let your hips tilt, don't let your spine move. You want to keep everything nice and solid. You may notice that I am rehabbing a bit of an issue in this right leg right now. I don't have quite as much extension as I would like. So we're going to go for 5 reps on each side. And don't force anything. You want to work in a good, clean range of motion, and pause at the end of the range of motion just to get a little extra contraction there and help improve your strength at the end range of motion. Back to the right side. Again, we're doing 5 reps each side. And over to the left. Nice work. We're going to move on to some hip circles here. We're going to go 5 reps one direction and then 5 reps the other direction. You'll see I'm using a pretty small range of motion. And that's not because I'm being lazy. That's just what I'm working with at the moment as I rehab some injuries. Remember to switch directions, 5 reps in each direction. Over to the other side. And just like we were doing with the hip extensions, try to keep your hips level and don't let your spine bend and flex as you make this movement. You want the movement to come from the hip. And switch directions if you haven't already. Okay, we're going to work on some thoracic rotation. So starting with the right hand, you're going to reach your arm out in front of you and then up over your head as you rotate. We're going to go for 5 reps on this. Remember, don't force the movement, just work with the range of motion you have. The range of motion will improve the more you do this. And over to the left side. All right, back to the right, one more time through. Moving to the left, last time through. Really focus on how this one feels in your upper back. We're trying to loosen up the shoulders and open up the shoulders a little bit on this movement. All right, now we're going to work with some alternated balances. So you're going to pick up your right hand and your left leg, reach your right hand out to the right and your left leg out to the left. Just take your time on this one. Use a range of motion that is challenging but doesn't push you into failure. We're going to be doing 5 reps on each side with this. And then over to the left side, left arm side. As you're going through this, really watch what your spine's doing. You don't want to start hollowing out your back to pick up your leg. Because we're using 2 limbs, this is going to be more challenging to pay attention to than the single limb stuff we were just doing. And one more time through. And the left side. You're doing good. We're almost done. All right, we're going to work on our spine just a little bit. You're going to arch your lower back and then, or arch your back and then tuck your back. A little bonus thing that you probably can't see very much what I'm doing is as you arch your back up, rotate your shoulders and your hips in, and as you tuck your spine, rotate your shoulders and your hips out. You can get a little extra shoulder and hip mobility and also a little bit more range of motion in your spine by allowing your body to open and close as you move through. This is going to be our last movement. So when we're done here, you're either going to be well warmed up for a more intense workout, or if you're just doing some basic mobility work, looking to get some extra work in, this is a great place to stop. You could do this a couple, 2-3 times a day, or do it every day and slowly build your mobility as you do this session. Thanks for joining. Good having you, and I'll see you next time.